that crushing silence you feel when he ignores you. It's not empty. It's a secret language. It is a message screamed from a part of his soul so wounded he doesn't even know how to speak it. Today, we are giving you the key to decode that silence. Using the profound teachings of Carl Jung, you will finally understand what he is truly saying when he says nothing at all. This isn't just about a man's silence. It is about the spiritual pain it causes you and how you can transform that pain into
your ultimate power. But before we unlock this spiritual code, I need to ask you for something important. I've noticed that an incredible number of you who find healing in these videos, often more than 80%, are watching without being subscribed. If you are ready to stop feeling invisible and start mastering the hidden language of the soul, take one powerful second right now to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Do it so you never miss the insights that will empower you. As you do, please press the like button to help this message reach other souls who are hurting, and comment below. Where in the world are you listening from? I want to see just how far the profound wisdom of Carl Jung is traveling to heal hearts across the globe. Now, listen closely, not with your ears, but with your soul. His silence is not your failure. It does not measure your worth. By the end of this video, you will see that what feels like a painful rejection is actually a portal, a chance to stop waiting for him and finally find yourself. Because sometimes, the one who is silent is more broken than you can possibly imagine. Number 1, silence as the language of a wounded soul. When he falls silent, you hear a void. But in reality, that silence says more than you can imagine. Many times he isn't ignoring you, he's escaping from himself. The male soul has been trained from a young age to hide what it feels. And when he loves, when he truly cares about you, a very deep fear appears. The fear of not knowing how to handle the emotion. So, he doesn't speak because he can't handle what he feels. He doesn't know if he is good enough. He doesn't know if he is going to disappoint you. He prefers to be silent rather than show weakness. I know this hurts because you give, you open up, you ask, you wait, and on the other side there is silence. But I want you to see beyond that. His silence is not your failure. It doesn't measure your worth. It's not a sign that you did something wrong. It is, in many cases, the only way his soul knows how to survive the chaos he feels inside. To listen to that silence is not to give up. It is to begin to see. And the more you see, the freer you will be. Not to justify him, but to understand that the space he leaves can become a portal. A place where you stop waiting for him and start finding yourself. Because sometimes the one who is silent is more broken than you imagine. Number 2, apparent ignorance, a defense mechanism. When he ignores you, you might think he has simply stopped feeling. But often that coldness is not a lack of love. It's fear disguised as distance. In my practice, I have seen how men, upon feeling emotionally threatened, withdraw. They don't do it maliciously, but as a reflex, as if their soul was still frozen in a time when feeling was dangerous. When he ignores you, he may be protecting himself from an invisible wound, one that perhaps even he doesn't fully understand. A word from you, an expectation, even your love, can trigger an unconscious memory of feeling judged, exposed, insecure. So he falls silent, he leaves, he shuts himself away. But listen, this isn't about you. It's about his own emotional system built with fear and shields. He doesn't ignore you because he doesn't care about you. He ignores you because he doesn't know how to face what happens to him when he cares about you. And here is the key point. It is not your task to rescue him. It is your task to understand that not everything that seems like rejection is. Sometimes it is self-protection, and when you see it that way, you can stop taking it as an offense and start seeing it as a clear boundary. A boundary that you don't need to change, only honor, so that you don't get lost in his labyrinth too. Number 3, what he keeps silent, his fear of not being enough. There is a silent truth that many women don't see at first glance. When a man pulls away, it's often not because he has stopped loving you, but because he is starting to doubt himself. Deep in their psyche, many men carry an unresolved wound, the feeling of not being good enough. This insecurity, so buried that they themselves don't notice it, is especially activated when they fall in love with a woman who inspires them, who confronts them with her greatness and with everything they believe they cannot offer. Then, a short circuit occurs. They admire you, but they feel small. They desire you close, but they don't know how to sustain the connection without feeling inadequate. And what do? They pull away. They ignore you. Not out of contempt, but out of shame. They are silent because they don't know how to explain that they are fighting with their self-esteem, with the pressure of having to be the ideal man. And the more they care about you, the stronger that fear is. This doesn't excuse his behavior, but it does offer you a key. His distance is not about your worth. It's about his own inner mirror. Understanding this doesn't mean tolerating the intolerable. It means reclaiming your clarity. You don't have to convince anyone that you deserve love. Only remind yourself of it every time he forgets. 4. Learned emotional abandonment. There's something many women don't know. Not all men who pull away do so by conscious choice. Some are simply repeating a way of loving or not loving that they learned very early on. Since they were children, many men were raised with phrases like, "Don't cry," "Be strong," "Men don't have feelings." What began as a rigid upbringing ended in a heart that doesn't know how to express what hurts it. So, when you expect him to come closer, to talk, to hug you, he instead shuts himself in. Not because he doesn't care about you, but because he doesn't know how to do anything different. He doesn't have the emotional map. His way of facing conflict, sadness, or love is to not face it. He disconnects, and you are left feeling that you are not enough, when in reality you are in front of someone who is emotionally illiterate. This type of abandonment is not physical, it's invisible, but it hurts just the same, because his body may be there, but his soul is absent. And you, without realizing it, try to fill those gaps with more devotion, more patience, more love. But please, listen to this. You cannot teach him to feel if he does not want to learn. And you did not come into this world to heal someone who won't let himself be touched. You can love without becoming empty. And that begins by ceasing to chase emotional breadcrumbs you should never have accepted. 5. The Hermit Archetype and his emotional retreat. In the world of the unconscious, there are figures that we all carry within us, even if we don't know how to name them. One of these archetypes is the hermit, the man who, in the face of emotional chaos, retreats, shuts himself in, gets lost in himself. When he ignores you, he isn't always running away from you. Sometimes, he is running away from his own confusion. He doesn't know how to deal with the depth of what he feels, and so he seeks refuge in silence, like the hermit who moves away from the world to avoid facing the light that dazzles him. And do you know what is most painful for you? That this retreat comes without warning, without asking for permission. One day he is present, attentive, and the next he seems to have disappeared. But it is not against you. It is his soul seeking order, seeking air, seeking not to sink. This is where you need to take a deep pause. Not every retreat is contempt. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's an internal disconnection that overwhelms him. And you, who are all heart, may feel that you must go after him. Don't do it, because the hermit needs to walk alone to find himself. If you get lost trying to reach him, you will both end up lost. Your task is not to follow him. It is to light your own inner lamp, and from there, decide if his return, if it comes, is worth being received. If these reflections are helping you to better understand your emotions and the dynamics in your relationships, I invite you to subscribe now. Here we share deep wisdom for women like you who seek to grow, heal, and love with consciousness. Don't miss what's coming, because together we can transform your emotional life. 6. The silence that proves immature love. There is a silence that is not a refuge or fear, but a tool to control. When a man ignores you to make you worry, to get your attention, to make you feel that you depend on him, he is not loving you, but manipulating you. Mature love does not use silence as a punishment. It does not play with absence to feel powerful or to measure how much you need him. The love that heals is transparent, even if it sometimes has fear or doubts. It speaks from the heart, not from the ego. If you feel that his ignorance hurts you because it forces you to seek him out, to beg for his time or his words, then you are facing a love that has not yet reached maturity. That doesn't mean he can't grow, but it does mean that you have to set clear boundaries so as not to lose your dignity. Silence in this context is a mirror. It reflects how much it allows you to be vulnerable without losing yourself. It invites you to ask yourself what you are willing to accept and what you are not. Learning to recognize this type of silence is an act of self-love, because you deserve someone who chooses you, not someone who makes you feel that you must beg for their presence. Number 7. 7 signs that a man is silently fighting not to lose you. Not all silences are the same. Sometimes behind that apparent distance, there is an almost invisible internal struggle. If you want to know when a man really loves you, even if he doesn't say it, there are subtle signs that only the heart can pick up. First, observe his small gestures. Maybe he doesn't call you, but he sends you brief messages to know that you are okay. Maybe he is not always present, but when he is, his attention is deep and sincere. The struggle is not seen in words, but in details. Second, even if he pulls away, he prevents you from leaving completely. He doesn't block your life. He doesn't erase your history together. This indicates that his soul is fighting to maintain the bond. Third, he may show jealousy disguised as indifference, because inside he fears losing you and doesn't know how to express it without feeling vulnerable. Fourth, his silences are interrupted by moments of unexpected tenderness, as if his heart were breaking through the wall he built. Fifth, he is interested in your friends or your environment. Even if he doesn't participate directly, he wants to know who you really are. Sixth, his actions, though minimal, are constant. A small gesture, a smile, unexpected help. And seventh, when he finally looks you in the eyes, even if for a short time, his gaze reveals the depth of his feelings, beyond words. Recognizing these signs helps you not to fall into confusion and to take care of your soul while you decide how to proceed. Number 8, the importance of your own inner space. When he ignores you, it can be easy to feel like the whole world is crumbling around you. However, I want you to know something fundamental. Your center cannot depend on the echo of his attention or his silences. Your inner space is a sacred refuge that only you can care for. This space is where your essence, your values, your dreams, and your self-love reside. When he pulls away, it is not the time to desperately chase him, but to turn towards yourself with compassion and firmness. It is a time to reconnect with the woman you are, when you don't need anyone to complete you. Cultivating that inner space is not selfishness. It is an act of wisdom. It is remembering that your value does not diminish because someone does not see you. And when your center is firm, your energy changes. You are no longer a shadow waiting for light, but a radiant presence that does not depend on the outside. Furthermore, that inner space is the key to not falling into the trap of fear or insecurity when he is silent. Because while his silence may seem like a black hole, your inner self can be a lighthouse that illuminates the way. Thus, when you decide to approach or move away, you will do so from a place of strength and clarity, not from need. Number 9. How to interpret his silence without losing your peace. Understanding the silence of a man who ignores you can be a challenge, but I invite you to see it as a language that cannot always be translated into words. His silence can be confusing, yes, but learning to interpret it without it robbing you of your peace is an art you can cultivate. First, remember that silence does not always mean indifference. Sometimes it is a sign that he is processing emotions that he does not know how to express. Do not rush to fill that void with negative assumptions. That only feeds your anxiety. Second, pay attention to your internal dialogue. What do you tell yourself when he doesn't respond? Do you blame yourself? Do you despair? Or do you speak to yourself with love? Learning to calm that internal voice is crucial to maintaining your emotional balance. Third, establish clear boundaries to avoid falling into the trap of waiting for answers that do not come. Loving is not waiting or begging for attention. It is offering from a place of fullness. Finally, do not forget that your well-being depends on you, not on his silences. Practice patience with yourself and with the process. Every silence has a meaning, but also a time. Learning to wait without losing your light is an act of self-love. Conscious patience, waiting without losing yourself. The patience I invite you to cultivate today is not one of resignation or silent sacrifice. It is a conscious patience, an act of being present with yourself while he goes through his own internal process. This patience turns you into a refuge for your soul, not an emotional prison. When a man ignores you, time becomes an uncomfortable space, full of unanswered questions. But if you learn to wait without losing your essence, without extinguishing your inner fire, you will be strengthening your most important connection, the one you have with yourself. This conscious waiting is a profound act of love towards yourself. It does not consist of being passive, but of being active in your growth, in your self-care, and in your self-exploration. Thus, his silence ceases to be an enemy and transforms into a teacher that pushes you to discover your strength, your value, and your ability to support yourself. Remember, patience without consciousness can be deceptive and painful, but conscious patience is wise and liberating. This is the invitation for you not to lose faith in yourself or in the possibility of a true relationship based on mutual respect and authenticity. If these words are resonating with you, and you want to continue deepening your understanding of yourself and your relationships, I invite you to subscribe now. Here you will find a safe space to grow, heal, and love from a place of consciousness. You are not alone on this path. Subscribe and join me in this transformation, recognizing when silence is a signal to let go. Sometimes, his silence is not a call to wait or to seek solutions, but a clear sign that you must let go. Not all love that hurts deserves to be held onto. Recognizing when that space he leaves is a warning for you to prioritize yourself is an act of bravery. It is important that you learn to distinguish between the silence that invites reflection and the silence that erodes your soul. If you feel that his distance leaves you empty, confused, or with a constant feeling of uncertainty, it may be time to look inward and ask yourself, is this nourishing me or is it wearing me down? Letting go does not mean giving up or renouncing love, but honoring your well-being. It is understanding that you cannot fill another's void if you yourself are empty. Sometimes, the greatest act of self-love is to let go of that which does not allow you to grow. In this process, I ask you to be gentle with yourself. This is not about failure, but about a deep learning experience. Silence can be a harsh teacher, but also an ally for your awakening. Remember, your inner peace is the compass that will always guide you, even when silence confuses you. How to communicate your needs when he shuts down? When a man ignores you, expressing what you need can feel like trying to break through a wall, but learning to communicate from your truth with calm and firmness is a fundamental step to protect your heart and heal the relationship, or to clarify if it is time to move on. Instead of reproaches or accusations, I invite you to speak from what you feel and need. When you pull away, I feel lost, and I would like it if we could talk to understand each other better. This form of communication opens a space of respect and vulnerability without attacking or blaming. If he responds with silence or evasion, do not take it as a failure on your part. Sometimes his inability to communicate is a reflection of his own internal wounds. And here is the deepest lesson. Your voice deserves to be heard, and you deserve clarity. Do not stay in the silence that ignores you. Speaking up is an act of self-love and dignity. Remember, communication is a two-way street. If he cannot walk it, with you it is time to decide which path you will take. Number 13. The transformative power of accepting reality as it is. Accepting that he ignores you, that he is silent, or that he pulls away can be one of the most difficult tests for the soul. But that acceptance is not resignation. It is an act of liberation and profound transformation. When we stop fighting against what we cannot change, we open up space to grow. Accepting reality as it is, without embellishments or justifications, brings us back to calm and clarity. This does not mean that you should stay trapped in a relationship that hurts you, but rather, it invites you to look with honesty and self-love. By accepting, you renounce the painful hope that he will change if he is not ready, and you begin to focus on yourself. Acceptance brings with it a powerful paradox. The moment you let go of control, you become strong, and that strength is what allows you to choose from freedom, not from need. It is a step towards the conscious woman who already inhabits you, the one who knows that true peace does not depend on others, but on the deep encounter with her own being. Number 14. How to cultivate self-love in the midst of another's silence. When someone ignores you, the temptation to look outside for what you can only find inside is great. But I want to remind you, as if we were sitting in a conversation between friends, that self-love is the unshakable foundation that sustains your well-being, even when his silence seems deafening. Cultivating that self-love means taking care of yourself with tenderness and respect. It means saying no when something hurts you. It means honoring your emotions without judging them. And it means building daily rituals that reconnect you with yourself. A walk, a book, a meditation, or simply breathing deeply and feeling your body. While he is silent, you can fill your world with beauty and meaning, not to forget him, but to remind yourself that you deserve fullness, regardless of his absence. This self-love is a revolutionary and sacred act because it transforms the void into an opportunity to grow and to love yourself with all the intensity you deserve. Thus, when you are ready to receive love, it will be from a place of abundance, not of need. And so, you have arrived at your new beginning. The silence that once held you captive has been decoded, and its power now belongs to you. Every moment of painful waiting has been a seed, and today, you have witnessed its transformation into a sacred strength. This is not a fleeting feeling. This is a permanent shift in your soul. You are no longer the spectator trapped in doubt, but the conscious author of your magnificent story. You have learned to listen to your inner warrior, and your life and happiness are now firmly in your hands. To anchor this profound spiritual truth, I want you to do something powerful. Comment below with the 3 simple words, "I am the author." Let this be your declaration to the world and a promise to yourself that you will never again let another's silence write your story. As you claim your power, press the like button to amplify this message of healing for all the women who need to hear it. And if you have not yet joined our circle, I invite you now. A vast number of you who experience these breakthroughs are still watching from the sidelines. Do not let this be a one-time revelation. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of this beautiful path of conscious learning and healing so you never miss the ancient wisdom we will uncover next. This journey has just begun. The silence has been broken. Welcome to your power.